Let's see how that'll play out. Wholeness, separation. You have how one wholeness can create a trauma. You have separation that presents perspective. That's the infinite field of choice. All right. Wholeness. Yeah, wholeness. This is I can see where this is going already, and I love it. I love it. This is going to be a reading. Again, this is impromptu, and I'm kind of loving where it's going already. You'll hear me always talk about wholeness, but you'll also hear me talk about wholeness within the field of illusion is still a separation. It's still an illusion. So we exist in many different facets of society. You have people who, such as myself, try and operate out of wholeness. Everything is me. Everything is about me. Everything is me in separation. What the interactions I take from others is still a reflection of what's going on within myself. Then you have separation, where people have lack of accountability or over responsibility. So again, impromptu, so bear with me. If you understand what's going on, hell and welcome. If you don't understand what's going on and this, ruffles your feathers, exit the same way you came in. Just being upfront and honest. So I want to go down a few paths. Wholeness. Wholeness is, this is all me. I'm the source. I am the source. So let's just do it that way. We'll see what potentially happens when you see yourself in wholeness. Again, seeing yourself in wholeness means this is all you. I am the thinker. I'm not just the thought. I am the thinker. So seeing everything from that aspect basically is what you'll hear me say, puts you in a point of awareness. Awareness stops the whole show, but awareness is also what starts it. If I'm aware of my choices, then there is a better system of accountability before I know. It's what people talk about nowadays, fuck around and find out, which, by the way, 2025 is a 9 vibration. 9 is a fuck around and find out vibration. A lot of people are fucking around and finding out right now. When you don't listen and you think you know, you will fuck around and find out. But let's get back into this. In the sense where I'm saying, well, wholeness gives me awareness that anything I do is going to ultimately be, has to be sponsored by me giving my energy. I'm aware that somebody outside would like to have a conversation with me, but I'm not interested. I'm sticking my wholeness. My wholeness says I'm now aware that there's an experience waiting on me, but it's still my choice. So if that makes sense to you. So let's just see, again, I'll shuffle the cards again. Let's see what wholeness, and again, that was a lower vibrational example, but you have to apply wholeness into everything. Nothing gets your energy without your permission. The trick where I'm seeing a lot of people who are starting to try and say wholeness and all this other stuff, you're telling yourself that nothing gets my energy because I cannot afford it. That's already a condition. When you can't do something because you already are aware of what the result's going to be, meaning you're endangered by the outcome, that's still trauma responsive. That's still trauma nurturing, trauma triggering. So what is potential wholeness where, hey, this is all me. There's nothing else yet. Wholeness, holy shit, it's all me. I get it. 2 9s. It's 29. I read my numbers a little bit different from most people you'll ever encounter, but that's fine. It's vibrations. You see a 29, I see 2 9s. 9, like I just got through saying, 9 becomes FAFO. If I wake up and there's an uncertainty, think about it this way. You wake up, you got knocked the fuck out. You wake up and you don't know who you are. You're basically at ground zero. If you wake up and you don't know who you are, you're at 9. You're at your highest vibration. You just don't have any definition. So now, in the sense where you hear me keep saying it's 2 9s, you have choice. I can try and find out who I was, or I can move forward and become something else. So when you start to look at wholeness from a different level of thinking, being the thinker and not just the summation of the thoughts that we've been taught, let that shit go. It ain't got us nowhere. Let that shit go. It ain't got us nowhere. Stop trying to bring knowledge in. Shh, save yourself. Uncertainty. One of my old sayings is, the first rule of knowing is knowing that I don't know a damn thing at all. But I'm aware of a lot of shit. What have I just been saying as far as wholeness? Wholeness puts you in a point of awareness. I don't know what's going on, but I have the right and responsibility to remember that anything I do after that first point of uncertainty, I don't know what's going on, is going to be my responsibility. What you want for dinner? I don't know. I'm uncertain. Okay, so what you gonna eat? I don't know. I have choices, but I have to be accountable to anything that I choose. So wholeness itself presents this opportunity for uncertainty, which could be dangerous. Can be dangerous, but again, that comes down to the trauma too. Again, sticking with a lower vibrational, and I don't mean to be disrespectful when you keep hearing me saying that word, but think about a lower vibrational example. You meet somebody, you're not sure about them, and you want to go on a date. It becomes your choice. I'm not sure about them. I haven't had enough information about this person to make this decision on whether I want to invest my time and energy into them. The wisest thing would be, well, let me be still and get some more information. However, that's not the way a lot of people are trained. Mentally, you're trained to go, 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 go. You got all these wants, needs, necessities, interests, sexual gratifications, the whole nine. Everything in your human meat suit says, do it. So instead of you exercising caution and responsibility of, hey, I don't know what's going on, let me find out some shit before I fuck around and find out, most people are going to fuck around and find out by now just taking a chance, that dirty word. Taking a chance and just engaging by creating an experience. I hope at least one or two of you, I see one or two of you that I speak with, I know at least one or two of you in here understand what I'm saying. So if you operate out of uncertainty without doing proper self-reflection of what is this going to cost me and why, then your wholeness is in jeopardy. Wholeness says, there is the potential for uncertainty because I don't know what things can become. As I said in this, before I get into the second facet, what I was writing down right here was wholeness at that point produces the opportunity for a trauma. Uncertainty scares a lot of people. I don't know. So then you're easily... I went in the Army back in 1988. One of the first, I was 17 fucking years old. Never forget that goddamn bus ride. Pulled up to motherfucking Fort Jackson at about 2 o'clock in the goddamn morning. The drill sergeants got on that bus and yelled and cussed and tossed shit and mentally got into our heads in the first 3 or 4 minutes and put us in a state of uncertainty. Like, holy shit. I mean, you got a bunch of fucking 30 and 40 people who only known each other for a 3 or 4 hour bus ride. Yeah, man, we got this. We gonna do this. As soon as we get there, a bunch of motherfuckers come on there cussing, get your shit. And now you mentally regress. You've now been reduced to a point of uncertainty, which, speaking from a military standpoint, is perfect for training. If I can get you out of your mind to where you no longer know what the fuck's going on, I can program you. And that's basically what we were doing in the Army, especially when I went into not drill sergeant role, but had instructor roles. If you teach the student, you don't know what the fuck's going on, and you need to take all directions from the tower, but I'm the tower, you'll do what I say. Again, not trying to be disrespectful. That's why you'll hear people say, well, Marines are programmed. It's even more extensive in the Marine Corps. I don't know about nowadays, but back then it was. They get deep in your head, and you're basically jello. Them instructors can mold you and teach you what you need to know so that they can get you to perform to a standard. If I haven't lost you, that's what wholeness does, is when you've been presented with uncertainty and you just don't know what it is, anything that now becomes the leading format of stimulation already got you. Already got you. Back to the analogy of somebody wakes up in amnesia. If he wakes up in the arm of somebody who has ill intentions for them, they fucked. We've seen that throughout history. Somebody, didn't know who they were, and then they got placed in the care of somebody else who potentially knew who they were. It's a benefit for the people to potentially know who you really are, not to teach that to you. Because as long as they don't teach you who you really are, they got control over you. And for some of y'all who haven't learned how to think yet, all they got to do is keep putting fucking a myriad of bullshit for you to fall into, thinking that that's you because they hid it. When they put that shit there so that you'll never really remember who you are. You'll just become another facet of a usable traumatic identity to keep your ass in trauma. So, if that didn't lose you, go back and watch this because I'll post it. Coming into the point of awareness that, holy shit, this is really all me, still produces a trauma because I don't know what me is. So, at that point, I'm telling you, you're easily programmed. You're easily programmed when you have awareness, but you're caught in uncertainty. I just don't know. I just don't know. You're easily pulled apart. This is the queen of earth. This is, like I just got through saying, the influence over what I believe. But if you don't have anything as a base to believe in, whoever teaches you becomes your Lord and Savior. See what I just did there? When you don't have any identity in yourself, whoever is teaching you the greatest form of knowledge, whether it's from oppression, suppression, or release, whoever is working your mind the most now becomes your master. Now they're in charge of even pulling you apart, even when you've been tricked into thinking that's holding you together. So, same analogy. You wake up in amnesia. If the first person who has contact with your energy does not mean you good, you're fucked. So, wholeness with the potential for a trauma is now under the influence over whatever it will believe. Remember the analogy of going into basic training? Whatever them drill sergeants taught our ass is what we learned. So much to the point to where I could probably still break down a motherfucking M16 with my eyes closed. 37 years later. I'm just saying, not trying to showboat or nothing like that, but when you are exposed to high levels of trauma, especially at the age 17, you know what the fuck going on. Whatever gets in your head, sometimes that shit never leaves. Sometimes your traumas become your programming, which you'll hear me call 1010, which yesterday was a 1010, your source code. Sometimes the traumas you get introduced to become your core. Only they're not viewed as a trauma at that point for the average thinker. They're just who I am. It's where I operate from. So whatever has pulled me apart at that point, timelessness. There is the absence of time. Remember, if you don't understand anything about time, this is my energy, is a energetic marker for an experience. Time is an energetic marker for experience. I gave my time so that it can constitute a memory. In the sense of timelessness, it never ends. If your core operating system is based in a trauma, the trauma's already got you and you can go wherever you want to, even when you think you're getting rid of them motherfuckers. If your wholeness was already based off of a trauma that had to teach you what wholeness is, your wholeness ain't whole. I'm sorry. If you only learned wholeness by trying to get it from your traumas, that's not your wholeness. That's just a whole mess of you and separation. Sorry. I apologize to you, but you gotta let your life tear as hell. So, wholeness, uncertainty, a 29, 2 plus 9, 11. The shit that I'll justify. Why? It's already got me pulled apart. You'll see a 31, but if you looked in the mirror, you'd see a 13. What's 13? Death. What's 13? The escape. In the sense of a mental spell that a lot of these people in this realm are under, 13 is seen as demonic. 13 is an unlucky number. Why is it unlucky? Because it'll set you free if you understood vibrations. I can see where, holy shit, I gave 1 all my energy, into 3 what I was thinking. What was I thinking? Whatever I got programmed into because I didn't know. The problem with not knowing which scares a lot of y'all, is you don't trust your awareness. You don't need to know. You just need to be aware. I don't need to know what is getting ready to happen next in this fucked up ass country or world or planet, whatever you want to look at, because it don't matter if I'm not aware of what's going on within me. It doesn't mean play, 1939 Germany, there's nothing going on, and pretending like ain't nothing going on. I just know, oh shit, something's going on, but this is what you motherfuckers keep choosing. So I just have to keep choosing me. Why? Because in the minute that you inundate yourself into the energy of a bunch of fucking willing slaves that won't set themselves free, them motherfuckers will help you get enslaved too. So you can't compromise your wholeness around a bunch of people who only think in formats of separation. And that gets into the second part of this reading, where wholeness already told you, uncertainty, awareness will cancel that shit. Uncertainty is already a fear. I don't know what's happening. I already am aware that I don't need to know what's happening. I just need to be aware of me. Why? Because trying to worry about something else that I can't control will only have my ass pulled apart and sponsoring my own death. Too many of y'all are sponsoring your own death. So the other part was wholeness versus separation. Wholeness already told you where uncertainty, the 11, which is a 2, what I connect to, will only double up. Mortality and worry, the 31, 3 plus 1 is 4. Whatever I connect to is only going to double up. It becomes your 22, what most numerologists will call the master builder. It's the fucking mousetrap. What I keep connecting to is only going to box me in because it's the only programming I know how to pull from. You already trapped yourself. So don't trap your ideology of wholeness into the same shit that's pulling you apart. Because if you are whole and honoring something pulling you apart, it's a double negation. I'm whole, but that keep working my energy, then you ain't whole. You just found a higher grade definition for your separation. Let our lives tell our tale. So from there, you go into separation itself, which is what I'm telling you. Separation is already submitted to this uncertainty. Awareness says, I don't need to know what this uncertainty is going to result in. The person who fell prey to the programming already operates out of separation. I can't make this shit up. Remember I told you, you're going to create the trauma of death. You're only going to be looking at the reflection, 31. The reflection of 31 is 13. Separation already becomes the field of death because holy shit, 1, 2, I'm holding on to the possibilities of those fucking 9s. The first card was a 29. I'm just trying to figure out which direction is going to show me my highest vibration. Trying to swim in 2 different directions. Try that shit and see how that fucking work out for you. Try swimming in 2 directions at the same time. You're going to need some transmutation. You ain't going to do nothing but drown yourself. So I keep giving all my potentials into these thoughts. Them thoughts are going to drown me because it's going to be so much of me in them that I'm trying to call my power back. No, them thoughts came from a thinker. But if I am not able to think for myself, going back into the drill sergeant analogy, I've only been taught how to think. I've only been taught what 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 to think. We could do this all day. When you are already programmed and you only know how to call and pull from the energy of the program, which at that point becomes safe mode, you can't think for yourself. So you're stuck in the field of death by holding on to the same bullshit that will never let you go. That's a parasitic existence. A parasite is not going to set you free. I'm sorry if y'all foolish enough to think that. We'll just say that goes throughout history. You ain't even got to use the example of government. It's just power and greed. A parasite is not going to let you go for free because you are the food source. Why are you the food source? Because you sacrifice your wholeness for the potentiality of uncertainty. I don't know what I am, but I've been given the possibility of what I can become. So I'm going to transmute that by transmuting me. When you're going through separation, when you people out here are claiming that you're such an alchemist, the only thing you're alchemizing is you. Because you're applying your energy into changing something that was into the potentialities of what you want it to become. You're a fucking narcissist and you're a gaslighter. You told lead that its value was not enough because it didn't fit you, so I'm going to change it to gold. You're a colonizer. Spiritually, a lot of y'all are colonizers, which really just means traumatic programming. It's just the results to where you've been colonized yourself. And this goes further than fucking slavery. I'm talking about mental programming. Mentally, your thoughts have already been colonized and you've been told formats of what to think. And because you keep trying to change from that field of already pre-programmed thoughts, you can never get free. You can't change the thoughts. You have to become the thinker. If you keep chasing thoughts that have already been given to you in a program format, but you don't learn how to hack and get free of the code, line 1, go see line 1 million. And once you get to line 1 million, go back to see line 1. And once you get back to line 1, go back and see line 1,000,001. It's programming. But you probably don't understand that. Why? Because your mind has been taught to think in separation. So you start honoring the original trauma. When your mind has been taught to think in separation, you will enslave yourself. You just did that shit in November. You do it all the time. You do it every day. You do it every fucking day. You can get presented with options that says, hi, I'm going to work for you or against you. No, says the other option. No, I'm going to work for you or against you. Holy sheep shit. Neither one of these motherfuckers said that they're going to work freely with me. They just told me that I got to take a chance. Uncertainty. So now, since I am willingly investing in the knife and the gun, them 2 9s became present. That uncertainty of wanting something to help you, but it could potentially harm you on either side, and you not being smart enough to say, I can't invest in either, means that you've already sacrificed your wholeness for the potential experience that could kill you. But you trick yourself in saying, well, I'll just learn to transmute this experience that I helped create without taking accountability for, holy shit, if I helped create it, then I also helped destroy myself. So we'll play this out on this level. This is where separation creates perspective. Did I do this to myself or are they doing it to me? That's what y'all been doing every day this year. Really, that's what y'all been doing every day for the last few decades. But it's becoming more prominent now because the infection is in your face. So you're just trying to figure out whether we being killed or whether some shit dying. Common denominator was death. So either way it goes, perspective. So since separation only represents death via transmutation, what is death? The sweet motherfucking embrace. Death is that thought that moves you. Death is whatever you plug into. And I've been saying this for a while. The battery in the pack, if you go to the store and buy you some Rayovacs or some Energizers, them motherfuckers that stay in the pack is as strong as the battery could ever get. But for your lower level thinking, you probably saying, man, that battery ain't no good. Why? Because the battery ain't no good until it's plugged in. No, the battery was in perfect state of existence until you plug it into a device, and now it's in the field of death. Once you plug that battery into that device, once you give that thought power to whatever's moving you, that device can divide you. So you sponsor your own separation, and as I said earlier, sponsoring your own separation is death. Again, let your life tell your tale. Don't go sit at home, cry about it, and now you thinking that you in fear, or you thinking that now this is the time because everything going in my favor. Steal all forms of fucking psychosis from all sides because you're trying to find the best way to make sense of separation when separation's whole fucking plan was, give me your energy. But that's another class. Let me not do that. So death only is the shit you keep embracing. Get back into what I told you the core trauma of wholeness was uncertainty. Why do we keep embracing things that clearly pull us apart? I already know the answer to this because I've been doing this long enough to ask this question almost every day, and the collective will show the answer. We keep collectively pulling ourselves apart because there's a core trauma that says, I am not enough to hold myself together. So this is going to be either some kind of war type energy. We're not even going to do that. I already know the answer. I already know the fucking answer. You like burning yourself. It's your guidance. What's guiding you? Your trauma. Your trauma that I am not enough will make me embrace things to make me move so that I can find safety in what's already killing me. If I am guided, remember, I am just trying to find 2 5s when there were really 3. The thought has already moved you 3 different directions. If I can figure out 2 of the directions, then I might be able to find me in the 3rd. Not even gonna do that to you. Not even gonna do that to you. You got to learn to be the thinker and stop being the summation of all that bullshit you think you know. Really. If I can find me by creating an experience, did I find me by creating experience? Don't feel assaulted. If I have to move to find me, who the fuck am I? Remember, I told you, if you don't have any awareness of who you are and you wake up with this uncertainty, this divine amnesia, before you let something pull you apart, you better learn how to hold you together. So at this point, whatever is guiding you already owns you. And I already said that over there. Whatever is guiding you can burn you. If I invest in pedophile A, the root is still he's a pedophile. Or if I invest in pedophile B, the root is still a pedophile. And I think I'm safe. Option 3 was, holy shit, I was already in danger. Why? Because I chose between something that was already clearly not going to be for me. Which means if you keep choosing things, people, places, ideas, knowledge, religions, traditions, it don't fucking matter, fill in the blank. If I keep choosing anything that is not for me, I'm not for myself. But I can lie to myself. So whatever is guiding you already owns you. Why? Because it's going to be based off of the perspective of, here's where people operate from. It's not so bad. People have this innate DNA defect called tolerance. We'll just call it that. It's really spiritual laziness, though. Tolerance for a lot of people becomes spiritual laziness, and this ties into that reading I did the other day about where faith becomes fear and fear becomes faith. When you have this level of tolerance that things are going to get better, but you have not done anything to help create that reality, the reality is you helped create your death. Holy shit. What was the separation? Your death. You helped create it. You helped create it by embracing everything that now can burn you. Which again, like I'm saying, and this will be the card for it, you burnt yourself. Your core trauma keeps presenting itself. You chose option A and option B because you didn't see yourself. But here in this realm, because option A and option B has now had so much of your energy, you don't have time to see yourself because you now think that you have to go through all these experiences that you chose. You think you have to make corrections from where you chose other things instead of understanding that now that I have awareness, I can no longer choose them. I don't have to fix them. I don't have to destroy them. I just have to stop destroying me. So here is divine accountability. Let that shit go. Guess what? That thought fooled me. But I'll be fair. From my level of thinking, where I tell you 0 is nothing, but 0 is also everything, that's why it's veritably the fool. 3 didn't fool you. 3 showed you everything. 3 showed you, I'll steal your power. What do you see? A 3. What do you see when you put a 0 behind it? A 30. Well, holy shit, how'd that 3 get so strong? It stole all the 0's energy. The more 0's you put behind that other number, the bigger that number up front gets. The more energy you fool yourself into giving what you thinking, the bigger it gets. The more energy 0 is wholeness. The more of your wholeness you give into that thought that is already said, give me your potential, the more energy you give into that thought that says, give me your potential, and I'll show you how to move, and I'll show you safety by teaching you struggle, but let me guide you through the struggles. Wow. I could go somewhere with that, but that will be, for some of y'all, our minds are a little bit too fractured right now, but I'll just use a quick example. This is no different than in the 1800s. Fast forward to the 1800s. In the 1600s and 1700s, here in the South, they banned the drums, they banned fire circles and things like that. Anything that the enslaved people might potentially have been pulling ancestral strength from, they banned that because they were hearing all these threats of insurrections and revolts. So in order to calm them down and to further make them moldable into Christianity, which was one of their goals, to make them more moldable into Christianity, they banned anything that represented their traditional heritage. So in banning that, they made them more compliant and complacent to go into church by allowing them to go in the spirit, all that other bullshit y'all like to do, stoking your ancestral DNA up, but now you done gave it to the now new leading deity. But while they start seeing these enslaved people that would go out in the woods and do that, work themselves up into frenzies, they now go into church and call it possession and catching the ghost and all that other bullshit. But while they were doing it, they would still have a white overseer sitting in the church, just in case it went too far. So we will teach you and give you a safe space to find yourself, but we'll watch you just in case you find too much. I'll teach you how to transmute your situation. Yeah, you enslaved, boy. And I'll teach you how to find a better you, but just make sure you embrace what I'm teaching you, and then let me make sure that what I'm teaching you is the only thing guiding you. I'll show you how to overcome. Only remember, this was in reverse. You've already succumbed. You've already lost yourself. Why? Because you've only tried to find yourself in what was guiding you, but what was guiding you was only getting you to embrace your own death. This was so much bigger than religion. If you got stuck on religion, you need to rewatch this whole fucking reading. If you can't see that you keep succumbing to that primary thought that already fooled you into letting that be the only one that guides you, which now means it's going to be the only thought you embrace, which means that's the only thought that's killing you. Only it ain't the thought killing you. It's your inability to be the thinker. Why? Because you have not been taught to think as a thinker. You've just been taught to respond and know. Only it's not K-N-O-W. It's N-O. You don't know. And that's your problem. This is speaking to the collective. That's your problem. You don't know. Because you think you know, so you sponsor everything that we're going to fuck around and find out. When you don't exercise your right to say, no, this ain't right, this is enough, this was already too much, but is no longer your responsibility because your uncertainty has left you too deep in worry, and you think that one day we going to transmute it, when that one day that you think you going to transmute it was the same day that my generation said you was going to transmute it, and the generation before me said that we was going to transmute it, and the generation before them said that they was going to transmute it. Ad infra motherfucking needem. Everybody waiting on the next person to do it, and now everybody else getting done. Why? Because at this point, separation becomes the only way. You have already succumbed to separation, that the perspective of wholeness, the original fear, I don't know what wholeness is because I'm about to lose it by creating separation. You think that you have to lose separation to recreate wholeness. And if you watch the beginning of the reading, that's where I said that's where wholeness becomes false. Thinking that you have to lose separation to honor wholeness is only trauma responsive. You're trying to create a reality. But guess what's already inside of you? The illusion. The illusion of trying to lose what was never real so that you can create what was never there. Bad use of energy. 1-8. You've already gave all your potential to what you was already struggling with. What was you struggling with? Learning how to let go. That's what succumb means. The shit that's been guiding me, and the only shit that I keep on embracing, and the only shit that I have to keep on transmuting. But holy shit, the only thing I keep on transmuting is the only shit that I keep on dying to. Reincarnation, Samsara's wheel, the Ouroboros circle, the field of infinity, where you keep choosing everything else except for yourself, so then you become everything else except for yourself in everything you keep choosing. You become the trauma of wholeness. You have pulled yourself apart and you've given all of your time to everything that you created. Time. This is my energy. Well, holy shit. If this was my energy, do I even need to do anything? No. But again, that fear of being still has already transported itself deeper than the psyche. So, last card I'll do, because you're in the field of infinity at that point to where you're trying to find reality inside of an illusion. I'm sponsoring a new paradigm. We in the divine feminine, just the divine masculine. The Pleiadians are coming. The Arcturians is here. Jesus is coming. My ancestors is here. Blah, 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 blah. You will concoct somebody coming to save you because you've already found the ineptitude of yourself to do it on your own. When the whole problem was, the only thing that you need to be saved from is keep creating a storyline that is telling you and helping sponsor destruction. The perspective of creation is why you can't keep still. Spiritual laziness, I told you that earlier. 4, you won't get on your throne and own your own energy by focusing on what's already got you trapped. Them fucking 4s. The 4 separation, death, and the 4 core trauma of wholeness. Worry. Death and worry. Worrying about death and dying because I keep worrying. So now that's the only thing I focus on, which means I didn't focus on me. That means you missed the whole fucking mission. The whole lesson was stop lessening yourself by trying to learn more. Learning more about yourself in separation does not constitute wholeness. It just constitutes a version of you that has now found more of yourself further in what already pulls you apart. I don't give a shit if it didn't make sense to none of y'all. I can see the one that it did. Stop pulling yourself apart. This shit is not real. And if you keep feeding this fuckery out here that's designed to further pull you apart, don't expect to be held together. Told you motherfuckers since last year. This year is about need, necessity, control, guidance, and direction. You do not need protection. You need to sit your punk ass down and be still. Wholeness. It's not just a word. Be well or be crazy, motherfuckers, because that's how y'all acting. I put them on my YouTube.